What up? Man, I gotta say, I mean, most of these free cards that they put on Spike, they kind of bore me. I mean, let me see. I don't know. Most of the English cards or something, when they just strip it down without a true main event, those things kind of, even though the matchups can be sometimes kind of exciting, they all together kind of leave me kind of. UFC 93 just really didn't do it for me, but I gotta say, I really had a good time at UFC 95. It was a good show. Had some really good fights, and definitely some good stoppages, some very controversial stoppages too. But we'll get to that in a second. Um, I gotta say it. Let me see. I think they showed just about almost. Actually, I think they showed except almost every fight, except I don't think I've seen that Troy Mandalones versus Paul Kelly. But then again, I think after that UFC prime time, I've seen enough of Troy Mandalones to really do me. But let's go on to the actual fights. Of course, we got the main event: Diego Sanchez versus Joe Daddy Stevenson. Um, I gotta say, I was entertained from the get go watching Diego come out to the ring. Yeah, yeah. That guy cracks me up. I like Diego. I mean, a lot of people don't like him because he's bizarre, but I love the kid. He's crazy. And Diego, he came out there and he meant business against Joe Stevenson. I mean, both of these guys are primarily ground fighters, grapplers, but I think very little action on the ground at all. It was basically a stand-up battle. I think with Joe Stevenson working boxing and Diego doing Muay Thai. Um, I gotta say, altogether, I was pretty disappointed. Even though it was a good, exciting fight, I was very disappointed with Joe Stevenson. Um, Altogether, I don't know what he's there for. I mean, do you want to be the champion? Do you want to be a main? Do you want to be a main eventer? Do you want to be in there? I, I'm not sure. Did he? I mean, maybe he lost confidence after losing to Kenny Florian so easily, or maybe he doesn't have the confidence to take on BJ Penn again. But it just seemed in that fight he went away from the things he's good at and just was eating punches and smiling and laughing and revving up the crowd. I mean, you're supposed to try to win. Maybe when he walked into the building or something, he walked by a trash can and picked up Chris Liebman's playbook against Michael Bisping, walking into punches. I mean, altogether, I love a good show, but I'm here to see the competition. I'm a wrestling fan, so I appreciate a good show. I've watched wrestling for a long time, but I watched UFC 95 because I got tired, because I want to see competition. That's a show to me too. I want to see guys get it on, see who's the better man. And Joe, I think that's probably the last time he should get a high profile fight if that's what he's going to bring. Diego, he brought it. Didn't seem to run out of energy. He was very strong. He rocked Joe a couple times. Took some good shots himself, and I think this is the division for him. I think he'll do really good in this division. He still needs to work on a little bit of his technique too. Guys like him, guys like him and Marquardt, they talk about how good their striking is. Same thing with Koscheck. However, they're not good strikers. I mean, they have the tools to be good strikers, but they haven't put all that stuff together. Diego, he's an aggressive striker. He's a confident striker. He'll stay up there and bang. He won't run to his ground game like he did, and that's good. That's a good start. However, he's not there yet. He needs to have better defense, you know, and more finishes with those hands. Sure, I'm trying not to get too wrapped around the axle there, but Nate Marquardt. I mean, I gotta hand it to Nate Marquardt. I wasn't really impressed with the striking going into this fight with Wilson Gouveia, but like I said, his aggressiveness overwhelmed Wilson. His cardio overwhelmed Wilson, and he's showing that improvement. I mean, like everybody was so impressed with his fight with Martin Kaplan. I just thought, it was just him overwhelming. It was more brute strength and technique. I wasn't really sold on his striking. It's just aggressiveness against lesser opponents. I mean, I don't think that's going to win you a fight against Anderson Silva, but this victory over Wilson Gouveia really shows that he's on his way. And that's some real good improvement there. And oof, back to the drawing board for Willie G. What else happened? Damian Maia, great lateral drop. It was a good fight. Not really a good fight, but it was just a great jiu-jitsu exhibition by him as always. He's gonna have to, in order to be like he can go really far with his jiu-jitsu. Who knows? Maybe even be champion if he catches Anderson Silva on a bad day. But he's gonna need that killer instinct. He doesn't want to hurt anybody. That's hurting people is the rules of the game, and that's what he's gonna have to do. And he's not going to defeat Anderson Silva. He's not going to defeat the top guys in the division without inflicting some serious pain. It's an ugly thing. I know. I train a little bit of Muay Thai myself, and it is kind of difficult to get yourself in that mindset to really just fuck people up. But it's what you're really gonna have to do. Koscheck, Thiago. Everybody, please stop crying. He was out. And that's what a lot of people need to understand. If you're out, you are out. If you get knocked unconscious, it's over. It doesn't matter if you recover quickly. It doesn't matter if you're okay now. It doesn't matter if you pop right back up. Once Thiago hit Koscheck with that uppercut, then followed through, I don't know if it was a left or right, but once he hit him with the uppercut hook, Josh Koscheck was out. He was unconscious. He fell on the floor like that. Like that. Sure, his eyes came back, but that dude didn't know where he was for a second. He was out. It was a good stoppage. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, this isn't about giving you the chance or something or come back. This is about a fight. You lost by KO. It's one thing in boxing. You get 10 seconds to get back up. You don't get 10 seconds in MMA because people follow you to the ground. Paulo knew he was out. The ref knew he was out. Everybody figured it out but Josh. Get over it. Move on. Let me see. Terry, it was just a fight. Just really, this is a fight card just with some great stoppages. Unlike UFC 94, who had no stoppages at all, except when BJ quit. But let me see. What is it? Troy Mandel, the first fight of the card, Troy Mandelon and Paul Kelly, and the last fight. I think the first fight in front of the people, last fight in front of the people. Those were the only ones that weren't stopped. Exciting card. That's why it's one of the redeeming factors of some of these British cards is that people get after it. And I definitely had a good time watching these car wrecks. And I'll be back for UFC 96. I may throw something in, or I may be too lazy to do that. Hopefully, I'll have enough of a work ethic to to upload this. I mean, I made a predictions vid, but didn't really have enough concrete. But I'm growing, I'm trying, and I'll be there. Thanks to all my subscribers, thanks to all my colleagues, and I'll see y'all later.